Hey everybody, it is Webkinz Fan 81 and it's time for the very first Webkinz Mashup. Yay! This is going to be interesting because I haven't done one yet, so I don't exactly know what format I am following. The two Webkinz that were randomly selected via a random name generator are the Webkinz Calico and the Webkinz Timberwolf. Both signatures, as you can see, because the signatures are pretty much the majority of the Webkinz that were suggested. For today's video, I'm featuring my signature Calico, Precious, and my very well-known signature Timberwolf, Dimitri. Now, if you are interested in following along with the scorecard, I did type up a kind of a layout of how it goes, and I have it written down too, so I'll have it with me, so I'll be able to give the score accurately. You can go to the description, you can pause this video and go to the description, click on the link to check out the scorecard, and follow along if you'd like. The total possible points that both of these Webkinz can get are 40. Only 35 of the 40 points actually come from me. The other 5 points come from you guys, but I'll explain that at the end. Let's go over the creativity of both of these Webkinz. The signature Timberwolf. Now that's pretty creative because, I mean, when I think wolf, I definitely don't think a Timberwolf. I think, you know, a white wolf, a black wolf. Yeah, that pretty much is it. I'm not very well informed about the different types of wolf breeds. So a Timberwolf to me is very interesting. So for that, I'm going to give it a 4. The Calico Cat. Now, I know that they were doing a lot of cats around one time, and to me a Calico Cat is kind of creative. It's not superbly creative because it's not a very like out there breed, which I guess for signatures that's kind of what I like to see are, you know, Webkinz that are special and unique. So I mean, it's kind of unique but not really. I love the idea, of course, but for that I'm going to give it a 3. Now it's time to go over the pet-specific item. For the Webkinz Timberwolf, the pet-specific item is the howling perch. Now, when your Timberwolf or any Webkinz goes onto the howling perch, you can hear a wolf howling and they sit on top of it, which is really cool. I love the detail that goes into this item too, because you can see, you know, the shading of the rock, you can see the trees down at the bottom, and it really does make it look like an actual perch that a wolf would go on. The only bad thing about it though is that when your Webkinz goes on it, makes, you know, him look like a giant. That kind of takes away from the coolness of it. So for this item, I'm going to give it a 4. The Calico Cat's PSI is the Cat's Meow Garden. I personally have always wanted this because I think it's so cute, and unfortunately I don't know what happens when your Calico Cat interacts with it. I don't know if this is just a decorative item or if they can go in the little pools, or if they, I really don't know. My guess would be that they just kind of, it just is a decorative item. So I guess I'm going to base it on that. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry guys. Looking at this, it's very, very detailed. There's the cat print with the little pools, which is really cool. And then you've got the little arch there with the flowers. You can tell that a lot of detail went into illustrating this item, and it really makes me appreciate, you know, Gans and the hard work that they put into this stuff. So this item is so cool that it is getting a 5, because, I mean, not only is it really detailed and a really cool idea, but I can also honestly see a cat kind of, you know, wandering through this area. Okay, now let's go over the pet-specific food. The PSF for the signature Timberwolf is the marinated marrow sandwich. This is a good idea, but the way that it was illustrated looks a little weird. I mean, you've got this like giant ham sitting in between 2 very tiny slices of bread. What? How does that make any sense? Like, how are they, why wouldn't they just, you know, keep it like giant ham? Why do we need to have these random pieces of bread sitting there? And on top of that, it's on a plate that's starry. Okay, I get that you know, wolves howl at the moon and everything, but it just looks so out of place. It looks like somebody cut out part of the American flag and just stuck it onto the plate. It looks so odd and out of place, and it's just, it doesn't fit. I do like the moon in the background, but at the same time, it's like, how exactly does that fit with the food? You're not eating the moon. So this whole PSF is just a nightmare. And unfortunately for that, I'm gonna have to go with a 2. The PSF for the Calico Cat is the Kitten Caboodle Strudel, which is a total tongue twister if you're not being careful. This PSF isn't quite as big as a nightmare as the Timberwolves, but it still doesn't really fit the pet. Okay, first of all, you've got I'm guessing, which is the strudel, which is cut out like a cat paw print, which I like how they stuck with the paw print theme, which is really cute. But let's be honest, a cat doesn't eat that. A cat won't eat that. However, a cat probably will eat at the ice cream that's sitting on the side. Probably will leave the cherry alone. I do like that they put the paw print on top of a plate that has paw prints, because that's so cute. And let's be honest, if we were gonna feed our cats a gourmet treat, wouldn't we want to put it on a plate that has paw prints? I mean, I know I would. This food is okay. It's not the greatest. I definitely wouldn't feed it to a calico cat. Maybe just the ice cream and eat the rest of it myself. So for this, I'm gonna go with a 3. Okay, now let's go over the gift boxes. The Signature Timberwolves gift box has the same kind of theme with both the PSF and the PSI. It's got the moon from the food, and then it's still got the grass and the rocky area with the PSI. What I don't like is that there's gray in this box, so it kind of makes it look like the box is stone. I mean, I guess that kind of fits. It just seems a little bit odd to me. It just doesn't look like the box itself is well constructed, and maybe it's dumb to base my score off of that. But, I mean, you gotta think, if you're gonna give this box to a Webkinz, are they going to enjoy it? Are they gonna be able to open it? And is it just totally absurd, which this box honestly is totally absurd. So it's a good idea. Don't think it's constructed very well. So for that, I'm going to give it a 3. Okay, so now for the Signature Calico Cats box. It is so cute. Alright, so you look here, you got, I thought it was a basket. Maybe it's yarn. Kind of looks more like it's yarn. Could be a basket made out of yarn. I don't know. But then you got the black part on top, which matches, I mean, the fur, obviously, because it's the brownish orange, the black, and the white. And then they got the white with the ribbon, which is very cute. It looks very eloquent, which is kind of what I picture with this cat. And then it's got the little gold mouse on it, which, I mean, that kind of seems very random because it's not really attached to it. And it's like, what is that doing there? It really doesn't belong there. So this box is very cute. Fits the pet very well, minus the mouse. So for that, I'm going to give it a 4. So now it is time to go over the plush versus the virtual and see if they match or not. The Signature Timberwolf really does match its virtual. Plush, you know, has all these different grays and light brown colors, and you can see that on the virtual. I mean, it makes it a little bit different because where the gray should be, you know, at the top of the head, it's more of a dark brown, which is kind of like, well, why are they two different colors? So that kind of takes away from the coolness of it, but it looks very wolf-like. I mean, same color of eyes, same basic features with all the shaggy hair. It's illustrated there, paws and everything, so very good Webkinz. Matches each other very well, so for that, I'm going to give it a 4. Now, the Calico Cat. Alright, so there's obviously a giant problem here, and this is kind of a personal pet peeve with the cats in general. For whatever reason, when Ganz illustrates the cats, they're either superbly skinny or freakishly fat. As you can probably tell, the Calico Cat looks really fat, and maybe this is their way of trying to make it look like it's very, you know, shaggy, I guess, or has a lot of fur, but it's just not illustrated very well, and it just makes it look like the cat's got this, like, giant double chin with really, really big arms, or legs, whatever. So that doesn't really fit it because the Calico Cat plush looks very thin, like a cat should be. That really, really takes away from it. However, I do have to give thumbs up because they matched the color perfectly. The way it is illustrated on the plush is exactly how it is on the virtual. So that's good. The awkward fatness isn't. Unfortunately, I have to give it a 3. Okay, so now let's go over the plush build. The Signature Timberwolf is very, very durable. The fur is very soft to the touch, and it's very pleasing to look at. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell what the brand new ones look like because Dimitri has been used for many things, so his fur is not perfect, but the fact that he's been through a lot and his fur still looks very, very good is excellent. He's not in any kind of decided pose, so I mean, you can use him for just about anything. He, of course, will sit when you tell him to sit. If you want him to stand, well, good luck. This, for a Webkinz, this is standing, basically. When you're doing a video and they're doing this, that's standing. And you can actually make it stand, and that's very nice to see in a signature, because people love the signatures, and it's not like, oh, well, you're sitting permanently and this stinks. So for that alone, I'm gonna give it a 5. Calico Cat's turn. Now, the Calico Cat is kind of the same way as the Timberwolf. Very, very flexible. It's able to be, you know, put in any kind of sitting position. Very, very flexible. However, I don't know what it is about this cat, and I hope it's not just mine because that would be inaccurate for me to judge it this way, but she's very, very hard to get her to sit down very well. That looks more like standing to me than sitting down. As you can see, Dimitri is sitting down here, while Precious looks like she's actually standing. And it's just, she's almost too stiff. Like, they didn't quite put her in a sitting position. The fur, this one, of course, I got used, so I don't really know what they looked like to begin with. The fur is not that great, as you can see. I mean, she's probably been through a lot. I don't think I've ever had her actually in a video, except for, you know, showing her or whatever, but it's not very, I can't think of a word, I'm sorry, but I mean, hopefully you can see what I'm talking about, how the fur is just, I mean, the legs, of course, I expect to be fine because who ever touches the legs? Like, almost never. But, you know, up here on the back, it's just, it's not very great. This is what I would expect to see from a used Webkinz, kind of bunched up, looks like it needs to be combed or something. So for the Calico Cat, I'm gonna give it a 3, unfortunately. Now let's go over the name. It's kind of hard to judge on the names just because, I mean, it follows the breed. It's not, there's not much creativity that goes into it. I mean, to call it the Timber Wolf instead of just calling it a signature wolf, that does give some creativity points. So for that, I'm gonna give it a 3. For the Calico Cat, again, it just kind of follows the breed. There's nothing really all that great about it because there's no creativity to go into it. It fits the Webkinz, so again, I'm gonna give her a 3. Okay, now here's where you guys come in. You, the viewers, are able to help your favorite Webkinz of the two get bonus points by voting for them. All you have to do is put which one you liked best, the Webkinz Signature Calico Cat or the Webkinz Signature Timberwolf. When it's time for me to do the next video, which is undecided at the moment, I will count up all the votes. I will put that somewhere that the votes are closed. If you're watching after the allowed time and you vote, obviously it's not going to do anything. You can comment all you want because I'm not going to disable the comments, but please don't vote if I already have the next one up because your vote won't count. You can see on the Webkinz Mashup page how many voter points goes towards how many points the Webkinz actually gets. Okay, well, I think that pretty much settles everything up. I guess we'll sign out the final winner when it comes to the next episode. I will announce it before I go over, you know, who's ever next for the mashup. Please feel free to leave what Webkinz you would like to see in the description. It can be Lilkins, it can be signatures, and it can be regular Webkinz. And believe me, they're all going into a randomizer, so a regular Webkinz could go up against a signature. A Lilkins could go up against a signature. Okay, well that's all, so I'll see you whenever I get a chance to do another Webkinz mashup. Bye!